Hi everybody, if you like this video, please click the like button and comment down below. Click subscribe, the notification bell icon to see future updates and videos. And as always everybody, thank you for watching the show. Hello everybody and welcome back to Some Geek Talks About, and I'm your geek for this show. My name's Henry Sims. Everybody, how'd you do? I hope you're feeling well. I'm staying safe, hope you're staying safe, and everything is good in your life. Now, everybody, as you know, no lie on this channel, massive James Bond fan. I've talked about James Bond a couple of times, and I'm going to do so much more James Bond stuff content on this channel. But there's one thing most people I've noticed on the online James Bond community don't chat about. And I want to start off, if you will, this conversation. I'm going to be sending this video to so many, Bond YouTubers and YouTube fans out there. And I want you to finish off where I started and come up with your list here. But what I want to do is talk to you all about my favourite performances of an actor who played James Bond outside of the movie franchise. Example being, obviously, we've had Sean Connery, George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. They've all done films outside of the James Bond franchise. Some more than others, okay, let's be fair. And I wanted to honour all those amazing performances they did outside the franchise here. So I'm going to present to you right now my 6 performances, or my 6 things that James Bond actors did outside of the franchise, which I think deserve recognition. And of course, we're going to start off with Sir Sean Connery, the legend, the absolute legend. Again, so many films of his that he's just been absolutely amazing, and you could just discuss your heart's content. You could talk about the time when he got his Oscar for the Untouchables. You can talk about one of my favourite films he did, actually, of his later years, which was 1999 Entrapment. You could talk about Darby the Little People. You could talk about the time he played Macbeth. You could talk about the Anderson tapes. You could talk, when he played King Arthur in First Night. Maybe not the film in general, where he was so terrific in that. But for me, the greatest performance of Sir Sean Connery outside the franchise has to be Dr. Henry Jones, Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, Indy's dad. Everybody, this was just an absolutely amazing performance. And it was such a brilliant, opposite, if you will, to what Indiana Jones is, and having those two working together was just pure movie magic. As Ben Kingsley says in Iron Man 3, movie magic, love. It was just an incredible character, and just, you could have had your own film of Dr. Henry Jones if you wanted to. It was such an amazing character, and it is my favourite performance of Sean Connery outside the Bond franchise for 2 reasons. Number one, my absolute undenying love of Indiana Jones as a whole, and Indiana Jones 3 being my favourite of the whole film series. The banter between those two and just how the characters played off each other was terrific. And my second reason is, outside of him playing James Bond, my brain instantly, without thinking, first thing I think about is Dr. Henry Jones, Indiana Jones, The King of the Last Crusade. So, my favourite film for Sean Connery outside the franchise is Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade. It's a bit easy now when we go to George Lazenby here, because he only did one other film outside of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is The Man from Hong Kong. It's a nice little kung fu movie. If honest, I think his performance in On Her Majesty's Secret Service is much better. But, this is his only performance outside it, so it has to be my favourite. And it's a good little film. It's, again, I don't know why I was watching it with a lot of other kung fu movies at the time, and it's sort of like merged just as one big blob. But The Man from Hong Kong, it was enjoyable. It was a good Bruce Lee film. So, yeah, that's his best film outside the franchise. Not really talk about there. But now we get on to Sir Roger Moore. Again, I loved how he never took himself that seriously, and I love his roles in so many things. Again, probably not his best performance, but as a Nazi officer in Escape to Athena, just hearing Sir Roger Moore speaking in a German accent was just take my money. Just literally, it was just, I'll always remember that. But if I have to think of a role he did outside that I think about when I really think about him outside of Bond, you can't help but go strictly to Simon Templar for this TV show The Saint. Now, I've watched all The Saints, and it's a terrific series. It's a great series, and he is just amazing in this. If you saw this before he became James Bond, you would understand why they were thinking of him even from the start as James Bond. I liked, weird enough, when he was playing Simon Temple, he was a lot more, I want to say, aggressive, a bit more harder, a bit more tougher than he would be when he plays James Bond. And I sort of like that. It's sort of, to me, it's sort of like if Simon Temple was the younger James Bond, and then when he does become James Bond, he's mellowed a bit with age, if that makes any sense at all. But I absolutely love him in The Saint. And I really recommend, even if you're not a Bond fan, if you don't mind old school television, if you've never watched The Saint, or you've never heard of it, go check it out, because you actually might find you really enjoyed it. It was a sort of really good mystery of the week. And there were some really great episodes in the whole series. One of my favourites being The Death Game. Really love that one. And there's also one when he's exploring how prisoners are escaping from a prison. Won't go into too much into that, but they're some of my favourites. So without a shadow of a doubt, Roger Moore's best performance for me outside of the Bond series will be Simon Templar, The Saint TV show. Now it gets a bit even more trickier for me when you come to Timothy Dalton. Again, I love Timothy Dalton's Bond, and just how many amazing films has he been in? I mean, Brenda Starr, no, that was Koskov. Wuthering Heights, I meant. Even in Flash Gordon, he brought gravitas to Flash Gordon. And it was between two for me, and the one that didn't win was his role in Penny Dreadful, because that was just, I love that so much. I love Penny Dreadful with a passion. Sort of like a great contained free series, really works. Looking forward to the new Penny Dreadful, but that's another matter. But for me, the winner had to be his comedic performance in Hot Fuzz as Simon Skinner, the owner of Morrison's. I'm a slasher of prices. You gotta arrest me. My prices are criminal. Oh, God. Timothy Dalton was amazing in that film. He was absolutely incredible. Every time he was on screen, he stole it. I just love Timothy Dalton in Hot Fuzz. And again, a bit like Sir Sean Connery, when I said that the first thing I think about of Timothy Dalton outside of Bond is Hot Fuzz, a bit like how Indiana Jones was for Sean Connery. So that's why I really picked this film. But again, I really would like to stress even now, if you haven't seen that much of Timothy Dalton's work, I really strongly recommend, as a fan of film, if you are a fan of film or even television, go watch his stuff, because it really is incredible. But yeah, definitely Simon Skinner, Hot Fuzz. Now my favourite James Bond, Pierce Brosnan, my childhood Bond. I watched a lot of Pierce Brosnan films and again, this was hard to choose. It was, again, a bit like Timothy Dalton. It was down to two. The loser in this was The Tale of Panama. Great performance. A lot of people consider it his best performance. But for me, again, this goes to a film I'm very much a fan of, and a film, again, like the others, if outside of Bond, what's the first thing I think about when I think of him? It's normally this film, and that is Dante's Peak. A film slightly overlooked because obviously another film came out at the time, Volcano, but I think Dante's Peak was a much better film. Again, a very different sort of hero. And, oh my God, I've just realised, what about Taylor of Panama? Oh, this is a hard choice. What about Taylor of Panama? No, I'm sticking with Dante's Peak. I love Dante's Peak. I love his performance in it. I love his character in it. He has a mixture of a great intelligence, great charm, great in a crisis. I just really enjoy watching Pierce Brosnan in Dante's Peak. So yeah, no, hand on heart, going with my original decision. The best film, in my opinion, of Pierce Brosnan outside of Bond is Dante's Peak. And now we're on to the last one, eh? We're on to the last one. And Daniel Craig, again, amazing amount of amazing movies. You could pick Knives Out, Munich. You could pick Flashbacks of a Fool. I'm sure probably not Cowboys and Aliens. But for me, my favourite performance of Daniel Craig outside of Bond is as the villain in The Adventures of Tintin, Secret of the Unicorn, Sakharine. Just so many things I could just praise him for here. Let's just go through them. Number one, he plays, I think, to be fair, the ultimate villain, the antithesis of his, of Bond, Bond being, in my opinion, the ultimate hero. He is now in another film playing the ultimate villain. And, he's the ultimate champagne old school villain, with the great quip saying, we have a long history, Haddock and I, Killing you wouldn't have been this fun. Daniel Craig just relishes this film being the bad guy, and you just see it in the performance, and it's so good. I love watching Tintin, not only because I love Tintin, but just seeing his bad guy. It's just so terrific. A bit redundant now to say, but obviously it's the first film I think about with him outside of Bond, and it's just so enjoyable, and it's such a great performance. And he probably only did it, he recorded his stuff probably in just one day, but just to me, it left a mark of just an awesome villain. So yeah, everybody, that's my list of best performances for Bond actors outside the franchise. But I want to know, everybody, do you agree with my list? Do you have a completely different ones? I want to know. Please comment down below and tell me your thoughts about what you think are the best ones. And I'd like to, again, just to finish off this episode, by the way, also like, comment, subscribe. To all people on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook groups, which you might be seeing this through, who you do Bond channels, such as Calvin Dyson's, or the Being James Bond, or the Bond Experience, all these great channels. Please do a video and share with me your list. Share me what you think are their best performances outside the franchise. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Please tell me. But everybody, this is one James Bond fan. Some Geek talks about best Bond performances outside the franchise. Everybody, goodbye.